Good evening to all of you. Hope you all can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. And good evening again. Then today's resource person, Professor Kanchana Pera, and all the participants. I'm Devika Abhisuriya, Chairperson of Women Engineers Forum of Institution of Engineers, Sri Lanka. Our topic today is life management of professionals. Though we have mentioned it as a women engineers, but we have invited both male and female professionals. I'm very happy to see many female engineers have already joined now. As we all know very well, especially working ladies are facing many issues in balancing their professional and personal lives. All of us are having good and bad experiences. I know you all know some female professionals, they give up their jobs since they can't balance both professional and the personal life. Then our executive committee of the Women Engineers Forum thought of conducting a program about this balancing professional life with the topic like life management of professionals. Then we found our resource person, and let me welcome you all on behalf of the Women Engineers Forum of ISL. First, I warmly welcome our resource person, Professor Kanchana Pera, Professor in Quantity Surveying in University of Moratuwa, and all the participants here. I'm very happy to see about now at the moment about 78 participants. I think it's increasing. And after my speech, the engineer Kanti Jayavira, our EXCO member, will introduce the speaker. And after the presentation, we will have a question and answer session. During the presentation also, you can type your questions in the chat box. Make sure to type to everyone. Some, I think we have some experience, some have typed to ISL, then it doesn't go to the resource person or the moderator. Then you are kindly requested to type as everyone. And our question and answer session will be moderated by Engineer Sajanya Tottagamu, our Joint Secretary of Women Engineers Forum of ISL. I think hope you all will have a very interesting and useful session today. And Professor Kanchana Pera will give you a very good presentation, and also we will have a very good interactive session after the presentation. And thank you very much. Please enjoy the presentation. And over to you, Kanti, for the introduction of the speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Devika. Good evening, everybody. It's a great pleasure for me to get this opportunity to introduce today's speaker. She is Professor Kanchana Pera, a charming, pleasant, energetic lady. Professor Kanchana is a chartered quantity surveyor and a professor in quantity surveying of the Department of Building Economics, University of Moratuwa. She presently serves as the director of the Staff Development Center of the university. Professor Kanchana was the chief student counselor of the university from 2015 to 2018 and is aware of the many problems faced by the engineering undergraduates in Sri Lanka. She is an active researcher in the field of built environment and has published more than 150 read articles in many leading journals and presented papers at conferences. Her key research interests are in risk management, construction procurement, quantity survey, facilities management, and property development. Professor Kanchana Pera is a fellow member of the Institute of Quantity Surveys, Sri Lanka, Australian Institute of Quantity Surveys, and Royal Institution of Chartered Surveys. Very recently, she was appointed as the president of the Institute of Quantity Surveys, Sri Lanka. While congratulating for her new appointment and wishing her good luck on behalf of Women Engineers Forum ISL, I invite her to start the presentation. Over to you, Professor.
Thank you very much, Engineer Kanti Jayavira, for your kind introduction. Okay, hope all of you can see me. Right, I'm going to share my slides now. Can you all see my slides and hear me well?
Yes, we can hear you.
Right,
We can
right.
see the slides.
Okay. So balance is not something you find. It's something you create. Jana Kingsford. So with this quotation, I would like to start my presentation. Life management of professionals, women engineers. This is organized by Women Engineers Forum IESL, and I'm very honored to do a lecture to you, as well as Miss Engineer Kanti mentioned. So I was working as a counselor for nearly 17 years at the University of Muratua. I was the chief student counselor. I am a mother, as well as a professor and a president. Currently, very recently, I was appointed or elected as the president of our institute. So why did I introduce myself like that? So it's not to talk about me, but I am playing multi-roles, multitask person. In my presentation, I'll be talking about what is life management, why life management is important, life management in construction, as well as life management in business world related to engineering. Why females critical in life management? Why we are different to males? Causes of life imbalance of female professionals, causes of life consequences of life imbalance of female professionals, strategies for life management, concluding remarks. So we will be taking you through a path where we starting from life management and we talk about the background. Then as females, why it's important, why we are different, why we are unique. Then these last 4 topics. So these are findings of our research as well as my past experience as a researcher. So I'm going to disclose causes, why this life imbalance is there, or what are the reasons behind life imbalance? What are the consequences? What will happen to us due to life imbalance? How you are going to recognize that there is an imbalance? Then how are we going to manage it and become very well balanced professionals? What is life management? First of all, the notion of work life has emerged as a major theme during last 3 decades. So all the professionals were talking about work-life balance, balancing the work and the private life for the personal life. Work-life balance is centralized around personal work and non-work-life related work. Past researchers criticized that subject of work-life balance is only related to work life and put front forward the notion of life management with a more robust perspective. So what researchers say is work life is just talking about work and how you are managing personal life, only in between those two. But life management has a broader perspective than work-life balance. Work-life balance is only a subsection or part of life management. Life management has gone beyond the concept of work-life balance. It's the broader picture, and work-life balance will come under life management. Then, what do you mean by life management? What is focus, or what are the integral domains of life management? Work life, family life, social life, health life, and spiritual life. So we have 5 domains coming under life management: work life, family life, social life, health life, and spiritual life. So we will take one by one and talk about these things. 5 notions of life management. Number 1, work life. What do you mean by work life? Your job, all activities related to your office, site, factory, or warehouse, or etc. So your promotions, attending CPD, managing office staff, dealing with your bosses, right? All are activities related to the work. Then second notion under life management is looking after family life. What is coming under family life? Looking after your parents, husband and children, more difficult work, maternity leave, construction of your own house, emotional work in the home, and all other cooking, sweeping, gardening, cleaning, everything. Okay, so it is coming under family life. So vast area, one of the most important parts in our life. Then third notion, social life. So this is generally linked to society, whose public activities performed in association with others for the purpose of pleasure, or whatever the social work you involve in. Say if you are doing a Ramadana, or you are involved in any other social service activity, you group together and go to a elder's home and do something, all will come under social life. If you have a party with your friends and go to a pub and celebrate something, that is also coming under social life. Then fourth notion is health life. So this is also an important area which is generally neglected by our female professionals. So it covers exercises, jogging, meditation, mindfulness, medication, health, diet. So due to our busy schedules, we totally forget about health, diet. Sometimes we may not do exercises. We sometimes reluctant to go to a gym. But as a professional, you should be concerned about this also. Then last notion under life management, okay, that is spiritual life. What is this spiritual life? Some may find their spiritual life is linked to their association with a church, temple, mosque, etc. They connect it with the religion, spiritual life. Others may pray or find comfort in personal relationship with your God or the higher power or your religious leader. Totally different group of people seek meaning through their connections to nature or art. That is also considered as spiritual life. So when we look at this diagram, we can see spirituality, religion, always overlapping. So belief, comfort, reflection, ethics, all are whatever overlapping things. There are unique things in religion, spirituality, but always we have a feeling and it's normally overlapped. So you can see. So these are the important things which are coming under life management. What are they? Work life, all the activities related to the work, family life, then we have social life, health life, spiritual life. Okay, right. What is life management? Still we are talking about notions only. The life satisfaction or management is relying on balance between those 5. So if you can properly balance those 5, family life, work life, health life, social life, and spiritual life, So that balance is identified or defined as the life management. Okay, what do you mean by this balance of these things? Please remember, this balance may differ from person to person. So you cannot do apportionment your time, 20%, 20%, 20%. So your interest may not apportion 20%, 20%, 20%. It depends on person to person. But you cannot have 0% to one of these notions. At least you should have to have a considerable apportionment in your life. If you can balance up all those 5 without going 0, without going more than whatever for one notion, so that 100% to 1 or 50-50 for 2, then your life is not balanced. There is an imbalance. But the apportionment may not be 20-20-20 to all. Therefore, so you have to understand what is my balance. What is suitable for me? I am so and so. I'm like this. My expectations are these. My values are these. I'll be satisfied by doing this. Therefore, you have to find your own balance. That balance may be differ from person to person. But there should be a balance between those 4. You can totally eliminate one of the component of this life management. Examples. So you have heard about some people who are very good at one side and all the other sides are neglected. Then it's not proper life management. There are persons who manage everything in their life, as well as there are good achievers. One side is very good, the other side is also okay. Then those persons can be identified as successful and people who are managing life. So what you are going to keep in your mind is, you have to decide your balance. You have to decide your apportionment. But all these notions should be considered, should be there in your life. While this life management is important, why it's important? Current organizations are predominantly concerned about ability of their employees to execute work competently, effectively, and efficiently. Always, you know, as engineers, as professionals, your organizations always expect you as a professional to work competently, effectively, and efficiently. The employees are compelled to work long hours. So when there is a concreting in the site, you may work in the night even though you are a female. And sometimes when you go home around 10:30 in the night or later than that even, so there will be so many problems at your home. So there will be an imbalance in the life priorities. Due to the contradictory responsibilities and obligations, managing life has become predominant issue for many professionals. Contradictory responsibilities, obligations. Say when I take myself, so I'm a professor attached to the university as well as a mother with a kid who is doing A-levels this time. So there is a contradictory role which I'll be playing. So I am a professor attached to the university, then I'll be handling all professional work at the institute. Again, contradictory, but you have to manage them. But don't get stressed by these contradictory responsibilities and obligations. You have to manage them. There has been growing interest to solve the problems involved in synergizing working life, family life, social life, health life, spiritual life. So we are balancing them, synergize them, and have a good balance. When it comes to the business world, so there are two sides of the business world. So you can see organizational side and the professional side. So when it comes to the organization side, we all know we are attached to business organizations as engineers, as professionals. The situation is much critical in the business world, which always rushing to achieve time, cost, quality targets. It should be cheaper with good quality, as well as you have to maintain the time as well. Business always seek for good profit. We know, being professionals, without a profit, organization cannot survive. So organization's main objective is getting a required or reasonable profit. Still, we are in the organizational side, always professionals involved in business or the business world, which we are working in, notorious as high risk industries. You all know, we all as engineers and the technical professionals in the construction industry as well as other industries work in high risk industries, as well as higher workload. Okay, sometimes you may be the leader of that whatever division. So you have to take the whole responsibilities. You have to maintain the manufacturing process and whatever achieve the given targets. If there is an order, you will be fulfilling it. Therefore, that will be a stressful environment. Okay, so organization expects so and so. There are other things which are expected by the organization. Extended working hours. Be updated about new developments. Always they want you to be updated with new technologies, new things. They require you to get new competencies. Plus, they want you to get promotions, get the charter, get a MSc. Likewise, there are demands from the organization side. Therefore, organization side, when we look back again, the organization side, so we have to be there with the time, cost, quality targets. We have, organization is concerned about the profit margins. Organizations are with high risk environment. Workload is high, stressful. Then organizations work extended hours. And they expect us to be updated, enhance skills, competencies, qualifications. So those are the expectations or the requirements of the organizational side. Then we move to the other side in our story. So we all know other side is professionals. As professionals, we expect good wages, benefits, promotions, power. We expect a good salary, right? We expect them to provide us a car or transport facility or accommodation. So we need to go up in the ladder. We need promotions, power, authorities expected by us. Being qualified professionals, we seek for promotions, power. That is our nature. And we have professional jealousy and competition. We always look at our batchmates. And we have a bad habit of comparing the whatever classes, grades during the university level and see, he got a second lower, but he's in this position now, right? He was not that much good at studies. Now he's having this, and company has given him a Mercedes-Benz. Okay, so we think in that way, right? And we have a competition. So it's not direct competition, but so we have a competition. I must have a better house than my friend. Okay, that is our side. And in addition to all these things, we expect flexible working hours, good working environment with very posh interior, right? Latest technologies, all new softwares, all whatever IT platforms. good computers, good network, everything is expected by us. So organizations expect set of things, professionals expect another set of things as a result. So there is a conflict of expectations by the organizations, by the employees. Professionals are subjected to more stress and imbalance and work around most critical commercial aspects. High level of stress, which will lead to the low level of performance. Ultimately, this will cause poor sleep, insufficient relaxation. We don't get time to sleep even. After work, we go home and then attend all work at home. So we have children, then housekeeping or some other duties. Then sometimes you may have to give a call to your boyfriend, right? So many things. So with that, we will not get sufficient time to sleep and relax. Due to all the above facts, professionals become unsuccessful in managing their life. Businesses expect a set of things, professionals expect, due to those expectations of both the sides. So finally, ultimately, professionals are going to get stressed. So we work hard, we don't have time to do other things. So we lose our family commitments, we lose our social service, spiritual activities, health, everything. So ultimately, the result is unsuccessful in managing the life. Right? So then I would like to move to females. So why this life management of females? Or why females are critical in managing the life? Why this is critical for us? So we all know masculine and feminine identities is an important aspect to consider about work, family, and personal life balance. Right? So we too, masculine, feminine, male, female, two different categories. So when we try to synergize all the 5 aspects, so it may not be the same for both the parties. Confirming to many previous studies, establish that degree of life management differ according to the gender. That is, internationally and by research, it is accepted. Gender difference is there when it comes to this work-life balance or life management. So this difference is due to the different roles played by each gender within the job, family, personal life, and in the society. We all know what our roles say: females, mother, daughter, girlfriend, wife. Okay, our roles are different. So you have to cook at home, cleaning, other things. So there are responsibilities. When you work in the site, think about your site. So you are a female engineer. There is a male superior. So they want you to work after 10 even at site. When you say that you have these responsibilities, how they are going to look at you? Less commitment. That is how they define it. So as there are different roles to be played by females, we have those problems. When it comes to the society, they expect, right, you to be different. So as a female, they expect you to do some whatever things, or they expect you to be religious, and they expect you to drive your whatever family to social service or other good things as a female. So therefore, again, the roles played by females are different. So you can see our roles are different and we are wearing different hats at home, in the society, or in the office. When it comes to the dual learner families, we all know nowadays right? So nowadays, what we have is dual learner concept. When we think about the whatever past, think about for 30 decades ago, right? So at that time, it was not the dual learner families what we had. Now it's dual learner. Your husband is earning money, you're also earning money. So when a whatever qualified engineer is searching for a proposal, man, he may think, look at your job, think about your job and your salary even. Huh? That is how they think now. Why? There is a dual learner concept. But even though we are also earning money, even though we contribute to the income of the family, still women are mainly responsible for most of the domestic childcare activities and all the other work at home and emotional work in the family. Say, for example, you and your husband both work. You come in the same car after work and your husband expects you to prepare a cup of tea for him. That's fine, right? So I also do the same, but so due to these things, our life is more critical. Why? We have to earn money. We have to do all the whatever other things at home. What I believe is there is small component of whatever apportionment of responsibilities in this scenario. If it is a dual learner family, so society expecting females to perform as a woman who worked in the history, similar to a person who worked in the ancient time, it's wrong. Why? We cannot expect a lady to work similarly and to take the same responsibilities like 30, 40 years ago who was at home, who was a housewife. Why? You are a responsible professional. So you have responsibilities at office as well as society and family expects you to what? Be responsible for all domestic activities. So due to this, our scenario managing life of us is very critical. Then, social and cultural forces, expectations make females more stressed. That is also very common. Society expects you to be very feminine. If you are wearing every day a trouser and a shirt which is suitable for your factory, society may not accept that. Very masculine looking lady. Have you heard those things? If you have had a very long hair, very beautiful long hair, you cut it short. Why you cut it short? You come home around 7:38 in the night. You don't have time to wash your hair and dry it if you have a very long hair. You cut your hair to short. Again, society and culture the way they look at you is different, right? So those are the problems of females. Therefore, the stressfulness of females are more compared to males. We have to earn money, do everything at home. We have to be there to satisfy the society and cultural forces or cultural expectations. Therefore, we are going to get stressed. And I have two examples. You can just see these examples. First one is women who compete with men are considered unfeminine. So that is our scenario. So if we compete with men or we compete like men, they call us unfeminine. Women who emphasize family are considered as uncommitted. with less commitment. If a worker who identifies as a woman and receives a negative performance evaluation, so why she's a tough leader, criticizes her for being too aggressive. So who tries to manage everything and strict leader getting negative performances. If it is a woman, it says aggressive woman. While men who behave the same way are praised for showing leadership. So you have to understand these scenarios. Due to all these things, we are different to men. Our task is very critical. But this is not to blame males. This is not to blame the society. We are capable of handling this. So we have to handle it properly, right? So I can see there are questions in the chat box. We will see. Yeah.
Yes, we have few questions. Actually, first question is from our former president of Institution of Engineers Sri Lanka, Professor Niranjani Ratnayaka. So she asks, covering the pandemic can result in working from home has created a difficult situation in managing life for both males and females. Do you have any comments on that?
Yeah. So, madam, I know her. She was a senior professor there. She is a professor emeritus.
Yeah.
Yes, madam. When it comes to this scenario, right? So we have so many issues. Why, when we are at home, right? So when I start this meeting, there may be disturbances from whatever normal day-to-day functions in the home. Right? So that is there for men as well. But what I believe is, madam, we have to whatever handle it properly. And so if you can get your husband to have, so you be alert with these works during this period of time, then I'll be able to take my turn and do some work. Likewise, you have to have a good whatever relationship and work hand in hand with your partners. As well as you have to train your kids to handle the scenario, right? So in addition to that, you have to, I do some important thing when I have to do lectures, I take lectures early in the morning, 7:30, 9:30. So no disturbances, internet disturbances or anything, 7:30 to 9:30. Normally my lecture time is 7:30 to 9:30 in the morning. Likewise, there are solutions in my presentation also. I'll be talking about some solutions, right? Any other important question? Shall we have the questions at the end?
That's better, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Right. Then, so when we look at this, we can see why females are different to males other than those social forces and other things. So, according to the psychologists, it says females are different to males and females are more emotional and to be negative feeling. As we all know, we are emotional. When there is a problem at office, we think about it too much. Or we think about it in depth. I don't call it too much, in depth, right? So when there is a problem for one of our friends, we take it as our own problem, right? Sometimes when we receive a very sad news, we get negative feelings. That is the nature of females. We expect care and love. So we expect our husbands to open the door of the car for us, right? When we are carrying a heavy set of bags, we expect our partners to carry some, right? We expect our husbands to love us, care us. That is our nature. Then we value quality of relation. That's a very, very unique quality of females. We always value quality of relationship. We try whether, so you have to be very genuine. And so we value the quality of relationship. It's not that whatever duration of the relationship or anything, we value quality. Then when you take the female, size and anatomy of person, we all know. So ladies, size is different, anatomy is different, figure is different. So when you are wearing a very short skirt and a whatever skinny top with a deep cut and sleeveless, people will look at you, but nobody is going to look at males like that. So size, anatomy and the appearance, again, different. We are warmer, friendlier and more anxious and sensitive to our feelings. So we try to be more friendlier. We talk more compared to male. So we are whatever sensitive to our feelings. When we are sad, we think about those things. And when we get whatever neglected, we think about that so much. Politeness is more. We try to be so polite. So when somebody is rude, we cannot tolerate it that much. Orderliness. So our work is arranged and organized. We like to have a very well arranged place. So it's a common issue when your husband is having a cup of tea and keep the empty cup just on the table, you feel bad. Why? You are more concerned about organized and well arranged environment. So, but there is a different quality. The unpredictability is there, female. We change. So our moods and the way we think, we regularly change. And if there is a mistake or anything, withdrawal, that's a good quality of a female. It's a different quality compared to a man. Openness. So when you go home, you try to tell everything at office, what had happened. And you tell all the things to your husband, but think about your husband or whatever boyfriend. Is he telling everything to you? No. Compared to both the parties, you are more open. Faithfulness. It's again, females are more faithful. So we can see there are differences in females. According to the psychologists and researchers, they have disclosed these special things of females. So we can see social expectations are different, right? Family expectations are different. Plus, females are born with different qualities. Therefore, we have to consider this managing life separately for females. So we have to have our own strategies. We cannot take the strategies or we cannot follow the strategies used by other whatever gender. So we are unique. We have to think about our own strategies. So what I try to do with this last few slides is, you have to understand we are unique. We have unique problems. Our problem is critical, but it can be solved. So that problem is critical, but it can be solved. But our answers are unique. But what I have to tell you is, always keep this thing in your mind. Women are strong. Why? We are very good at bearing pain. Bear down the pain at a labor. So, likewise, we know we are very strong bearing pains. We are multitask people. So we can concentrate on different things at the same moment. So we are good stress takers. We take stress, but we manage it anyhow. These are whatever findings of research. When it comes to a female, you are very well determined about your task, well organized. There are other important points as well. So what my young engineers to know is, so compared to males, women are strong. So we can manage those critical problems. Don't be disappointed. There are ways of managing. So when you look at the society, there are successful female. So we have to be strong. We have to think about these qualities of us. We are not very feminine and who cannot handle things. We are good engineers. We are good quantity surveyors. We are good academics, as well as we are good mothers, daughters, wives, girlfriends. So women are strong. Number one, you have to keep that thing in your mind. So you have to be enthusiastic. And you have to try and go up in the ladder, right? So with this background, I would like to talk about my experience, and these are some findings of our research under 3 headings, right? So first one is, right, what are the causes of life imbalance? What are the problems in our life which lead to life imbalance? Then I'll be talking about what are the consequences, results of them. Then I will be talking about what are the strategies or solutions for them. Before I move to that, so I want you to reflect. Reflection is required. What are your roles in the life? How many roles do you have? What are your roles? What are the most preferred roles? What do you like most? What is my satisfaction level of each? Am I satisfied by doing those? Am I very satisfied, or do I hate some roles? How do I allocate my time? Think about this for 1 minute. Just think about 1 minute. What are your roles in the life? So you have to close your eyes and think about this. What are my roles in the life? Right? I'm an engineer or chief engineer, AGM or professor or senior lecturer, right? At home, I'm a mother or a daughter or a sister or sister-in-law. At institute, I'm a board chair or I'm a vice president or anybody. In society, I'm a social worker, devoter or anything. Then, what are the out of those roles? What are the most preferred roles of mine? What do I like? Being a mother is the most important or the most preferred one, or being a wife, is it the most preferred one? Or being a girlfriend, is it the most preferred one? Or working as a chief engineer, is it the most preferred one? What is my satisfaction level of each? Am I a good wife? Am I fulfilling my duties as a chief engineer? Am I doing a good job as a lecturer? So you have to reflect back yourself. Do I allocate enough time to my house or my home? Do I allocate enough time to do some social service or to do religious activities? Do I allocate some time to get progressive learning or to attend CPDs and to do charter and all, to go up in the ladder of my profession? So very important. I believe you were, whatever, reflecting yourself. Think about yourself, right? So this is my reflection. Please see this, my roles in the life. Mother, who is having a daughter who is doing A-levels this time, 19 years old girl. Wife, married for 21 years. Daughter of a 86-year-old mother. My father has passed away. Sister for an elder brother and an elder sister. Daughter-in-law for my husband's parents. Sister-in-law for my husband's sister and brother, younger sister and younger brother, auntie for my nieces and nephews. Then professor, under which I'm an administrator doing so much of administrative work, researcher who does research and do publications, a teacher, right, doing lectures, director, staff development center at University of Moratuwa, performing most of the admin task, counselor, was the chief student counselor as a counselor continuously for nearly 17 years. As well as in the university, I act as a quantity surveyor professional. When there are whatever projects in the university, we do honorary work as a professional. As well as when somebody needs a BOQ to be prepared to get a housing loan or anything, we do it. That honorary work for them, right? Then the other side, in the institute or in the industry, president of IQSSL, I was the vice president. Earlier that I was the education board chairperson, likewise. Then a professional who does some private work, okay, some consultancy work. Why I do consultancy work? So my degree is a professional degree. I should be in touch with the current updates. Then a mentor for juniors and colleagues. Then when I moved to the society, a social worker, active citizen. I'm an active citizen with the certificate given by the British Council Sri Lanka to work actively in the society. Devotee, who is a religious person. And most importantly, a designer. My own saris, I design my saris for me, not a professional designer. I design my own saris, own clothes, right? Jewelry collector. Okay. I like gardening, right? Okay. There are other hobbies. These are the main things. So when I reflect back myself, what are the enjoyable things? Being a mother, wife, daughter, all these personal roles are enjoyable things. I value them. Then being a professor, yes. Doing research, teaching is very interesting, right? Being a counselor, I get the self-satisfaction. I believe it's a lifetime work, which you are very satisfied at the end of the day, counseling, right? So involved in the institute, enjoy it. Being a professional, being a mentor, again, enjoy it. Social worker, yes. Devotee, yes. Right? Designer. So what I do during my free time is I buy pieces of cloth, match it with other whatever colors and whatever these things. I decide the borders, embroidery, everything. I prepare a sketch and give it to a person to sew it. So that is my hobby. That is how I get relaxed, by doing all the other tasks. Then jewelry collector, okay. So I go to exhibitions and all, collect jewelries. They are not very expensive, but it's your unique collection. You enjoy by looking at, seeing them. And gardening, right? So I grow vegetables, flowers, everything. So likewise, you should think about your roles, reflection. And you think about how am I allocate my time? What is my satisfaction by doing these things? If you see some activity, so you hate it, please avoid it if you can. And if there are very enjoyable things, but you don't have time to do them, then try to balance up your time. So this is my reflection, right? Likewise, always you should reflect back your life, your roles, right? With this, I would like to move to our research findings, as well as this is combination of research findings and my experience as a counselor, as well as I referred some books, right? Causes of life imbalance of female professionals. What are the reasons behind life imbalance? Why we must know the causes? We must avoid them or try to manage them, eliminate them, or try to reduce them, right? Number one, no proper relaxation, hobbies. So you have to have relaxation. How many hours per week you have allocated for relaxation? Or do you have a hobby? Think about that. Do I have a hobby? When did we go on a trip? Nowadays, during COVID period, we cannot do so. And did I exercise? Did I go to a gym? Or am I going to a gym? Or do I do jogging? Do I involve in religious activities? Do I get time to do meditation, mindfulness? Did I attend or enjoy a party recently? Nowadays, we cannot do it, and gathering, right? So you have to think about these things. So main cause for our life imbalance is no proper relaxation, as well as you have to have a hobby. Hobby will, whatever, let you to be relaxed. As I mentioned, designing my whatever clothes, saris or others, make me relax. That is my hobby. Collecting jewelry is my hobby, as well as gardening is my hobby, right? Comparison, competition with others. Again, professional jealousy. This will lead you to life imbalance. You always try to compare salaries with your friends. House and a car, whether it's a branded car, what is the size of the house, where is it? Friends, all you compare yourself with your friends. When you see photographs of trips of your friends on FB, so they were at a 5-star hotel and they were enjoying this much. Comparison make you stressful. Promotions, investments, salaries of others, vehicles, houses of others. So that comparison will lead you to the life imbalance. Poor sleep, poor health. Number of hours of sleep. How many hours were you able to sleep last night? At least 6 hours, right? Then eating habits, checkups, health checkups, your BMI. So you have to be careful about these. Unrealistic goals, personal ambitions. So you must not target. You should not have very high expectations. You should think about yourself and have step-by-step goals. Sometimes you underestimate yourself and have very low whatever achievements or very poor achievements due to underestimation. That will also lead to imbalance. Non-supportive family and friends. So you have to guide your family to help you. You better have a good set of friends who will be able to help you, and that help means at least advise you, share your problems. Partner mismatch. It's again a real issue. When I talk to university students, what I say is, there are partners who are jealous of their whatever female partner. So they compare their results with them. Sometimes they do not want you to talk with males, move with males, go up in the ladder, do examinations. If you are married, you can't do anything unless otherwise you have to think about your partner. Whether partner is matching, whether your ambitions and his ambitions, goals are matching to each other. Domestic responsibilities, too many responsibilities. Cleaning, cooking, childcare, emotional responsibilities, parent care, looking after in-laws, social responsibilities, healthcare, all this stuff make you imbalance. Role conflicts, as I explained earlier. You have whatever roles at home, roles at office, social responsibility, all will get conflicted. Then there are other things which we should consider. Heavy workload, long working hours, unrealistic deadlines. So you have to think about working time. Whether we are working till 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. every day or occasionally, right? Number of days per week, whether it is all 7 days, 6 days, or 5.5 days, 5 days. Then some office work as shutdown. Some officers use shutdown system. What is this shutdown system? Work for 25 days, last 5 days you get leave. But that will mismatch with other family members' free time. So they get leave during weekends, but you have leave during the end of the month. Sometimes some people work in the weekdays and family members get leave during weekdays, but family members are free during weekends. Again, it's kind of life imbalance. Traveling and accommodation. So how many hours do I travel from my accommodation to office? Some people travel for 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Distance. Very tired, right? Mode of transport. Are we going to take a bus or train or own car or whatever, office transport, etc. Quality of transport as well as quality of your accommodation. So those things will again affect to your life balance. Risk and occupational hazards, poor working environment, obsolete technologies. So tidiness of your workplace, health hazards, attractiveness in the office, right? Obsolete equipments, you are tired of them, right? So these are the causes for life imbalance. We must know these causes to avoid them or to control them, right? So inability to be up to date, incompetence. This is also a very big problem with ladies. What we do is, so we give more concentration to our family affairs and all. We are unable to attend CPDs, lifelong learning, or we will not be able to do higher studies. Sometimes we may not be able to get our chartered professional qualifications. So then again, this will lead to life imbalance. Why? You are unhappy with your performance. When you were at university, you were one of the top students. After getting married and after having so many responsibilities, you are not performing well in the office. Job insecurity, right? So poor rewards, poor promotions. So you are not going to get a good salary or no increments, no promotions, right? Salary issues, overspending, no proper path for promotions in the office. So you are an engineer, no other higher positions to achieve. Then you get whatever imbalance, or you will be stressed, and which will lead to the imbalance of your life. Non-supportive superiors, peers, lack of competent supporting staff or subordinates. Sometimes superiors may not be guiding you properly. Lack of competent staff, juniors or subordinates, as well as there are no peers to help you. So it'll be that you will be taking the whole work, or you are carrying the major portion of the work at office. So it will be stressful for you. Favorism, discrimination, sexual harassments. So there are favorisms, discriminations at office. When you are a female, there may be discrimination, especially. I heard some organizations, they tell us, for a site, we cannot have a female engineer. No, female engineer can perform well. So what they say is, due to the nature of this factory, female engineer is not suitable. So there is a big problem with university students as well. Mechanical engineering is not suitable for a female. No, not at all. We will be able to do it. So that is kind of discrimination. Then sexual harassments. There are 3 types of sexual harassments which we should not tolerate: verbally, physically, and mentally. So if there is any harassment, you have to be strong enough to complain, right? So these things will make you imbalance. Poor reflection of life, poor planning. So you have to have some time, as I mentioned, reflect yourself, see what is good, what was bad, how to manage, think about that. You have to plan your life, very importantly. Okay, those are the causes of life imbalance. Why I was talking about causes? We must first know causes. Why this is happening to us. Now we should know what are the consequences due to causes. So what would be the consequences due to life imbalance of female professionals? Right? So inadequate sleep, poor health, vice versa. Poor health and inadequate sleep will be a cause as well as consequence both. Exhaustion, fatigue. Okay, if you are fatigued and if you are exhausted, you will not be able to perform the work. Again, vice versa. It is like a vicious cycle. It will affect it will become a cause as well as consequences. Sometimes these things may lead to infertility. Why? You are stressed, you are not taking proper food, no rest. So that will lead to infertility. Again, infertility will lead to a cause of improper management of the life. Inadequate food intake, unsuitable foods. You don't have time to cook, so you try to buy junk food, right? So that will be a cause of life imbalance. Lack of time to give attention to children, husband. Due to that, there will be weak relationships as well as inability to fulfill the family responsibilities. Right? This will lead to increased rate of divorce, or sometimes it will lead to leaving the job and be a housewife with a degree or with masters and charter even. Poor career progress, low productivity. As well as we will be dissatisfied with life, with all. Poor organizational commitment, regular job changes, lack of job satisfaction will be results of poor life management. So there will be inadequate time to pursue spiritual activities, relaxation activities due to life imbalance. Isolation from society. Why you are not actively involved in whatever social activities? Conflict with society. Society expects a bigger role from you, but you are unable to perform it. Poor quality of life due to stressfulness. Unpopularity. Why you don't have time to attend whatever funerals, parties, functions, etc. Sometimes alcoholism, drug addiction. This is common to females as well. So we will try to find solutions with this. Loss of creativity, as well as stress, depression, pressure, diabetics, cholesterol. So those are the consequences of them. Therefore, if we have these problems, we know that is part of our life imbalance. These are the consequences. So we have to think about the cause. What is the cause? We have to take precautions. We have to manage it. we have to solve it. So I come to the last part of my presentation. It's with another 5-6 slides. Strategies to manage the life of female professionals. How you are going to perform life management. So these are findings of our research as well as my personal experience and some literature review findings. First category, what I have found is relaxation activities. How you are going to make yourself relaxed. Meditation, mindfulness, spiritual activities. Now you will think about this and ask, how are you going to get a time? So what I do is when I go to bed, 15 to 20 minutes, I do meditation, right? Just before sleeping, we can do some meditation. When you are walking, if you have to walk for a long, then you can train or you can whatever, exercise your mindfulness. I am walking, my foot is on the floor, like this. You can train the mindfulness. Then religious activities, okay? So you have to involve in religious activities. If it is better for you, always you need not to be like that. But when I take myself, so I take some time and go to Bellanvilla temple and have some relaxing time early in the morning before I go to work, right? Likewise, you can involve in religious activities. Find an interesting hobby, as I mentioned. You have to find an interesting hobby which makes you relax and happy. Your hobby will be unique to you. So I'm not a professional designer, but I do designing my saris. It is my hobby. Collecting pieces of cloth, finding matching pieces of clothes to that, and finding pictures and all embroidery designs. I spend some time, but that time is so worth. Why? That makes me more relaxed and happy. I imagine how when I whatever complete the sari, what would be the picture, right? That makes me very happy. So it will improve my imagination skills as well. Then physical fitness exercises. So don't be afraid to go to a gym or do some exercises by your own. My personal experience, I go to a gym 3 days per week, not now, right? Before pandemic. What time do I select? 8 p.m. to 9 p.m., 3 days per week. I try to catch my husband and take him as well. So if nowadays we cannot go to gyms, then we do some jogging. So what I do is when I'm doing jogging, I take my daughter as well. As I mentioned, she's doing A-levels this time. I take her. Why? She's also stressed with whatever online things. Therefore, I take her, right? So I take her for a walk. When we were walking for 2-3 kilometers, I try to talk with her and listen to her, try to solve her problems. That will whatever enhance our relationship as well. Likewise, use your time effectively with relaxation activities. Have a proper sleep. At least try to sleep for 6 hours at least. Involve in social services and enjoy it. And have some private and personal moments with your family, with your friends, with your partner. Then our second category of solutions. Set boundaries. Time management is the second category. Set boundaries for social media. This is a very important thing what you are going to do. You have to set boundaries for social media. Don't try to spend your time with social media excessively. So in the morning, half an hour, Daytime, half an hour, night, 1 hour maximum, not more than that. Some people spend too much of time with social media. When they go to bed, even they do not talk with their partners. They do not talk with their family members in the whatever dinner table. Keep the phone and touch it and always active in Facebook. Please manage it properly. Categorize, batch your time. Family time, personal time, religious time, exercise time. Likewise, you have to batch your time. Have a plan. You have to have a plan. There is a calendar, but don't let your calendar to control you. You have to have a plan. There may be activities in the calendar. You have to select, I will not be attending this activity this week due to number of other activities. So you have to have a plan. Very focused and selfish. Be focused and selfish with your time management. So you have to be focused. You have to manage your time. Selfish, you have to say no. Sometimes you have to say no to some whatever unwanted activities. Say, for example, when I'm getting some questions from first-year students, right, regarding subject matters, I direct it to my project work lecturers. If they are not satisfied, then to me. Likewise, you have to know your level and the priorities and be selfish. Sometimes you may say no to some activities. If you are invited to an unwanted party, you should be able to say no, right? You have to be selfish with your time and very well focused. Meeting deadlines, be an early bird, very important. One of your past presidents, Professor Ananda Jayawardena, who was there as one of the member of my professorship panel as the Vice Chancellor. He was asking, how do you manage all these things, Kanchana? My answer was, number one is I am an early bird. So when you are an early bird, you are with less stress. Why? So when I take my lecture series, each semester carries 15 weeks. What I do is during first 5 to 6 weeks, I do all the lectures, sometimes take additional time and try to cover a bigger portion of the syllabus. Why? At the beginning of the semester, lecturers are not that much concerned about covering the syllabus, doing lectures. They have free time. Students are not stressed that much. Therefore, I cover majority of my syllabus during first 5-6 weeks. When it comes to the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I have already covered the syllabus. And I see students and lecturers are running with whatever, rushing with compacted timetables during last 2 to 3 weeks. Why I am an early bird? When you are an early bird, you feel very relaxed. Sometimes you see other people rushing at the last moment. So you can help them even if you are an early bird. Meeting deadlines will make you comfortable. Then you can plan your work, meet the deadline by today and have 2 days before you finish it 2 days before the deadline, then you have enough time to do other work. When you get some work, always arrange your timetable. I'll be finishing this by this date, this work, this date. Likewise, you have to have a plan. Always be an early bird. Identify your priorities. You should know your priorities. Give more time to your priorities. Make morning ritual, right? So morning is the best time to do in-depth work with more concentration. So therefore, in the morning, try to do more advanced and whatever work which needs more concentration. Sometimes it may not be applicable to some people. Find your best time then. So when I was a student also, morning was my best time. So my bad time was late night. But there are people who love working in the late night. Therefore, know your best time. Okay, right. These are coming under time management. right? Okay. Right, there is a small problem with the Zoom, right? Escape, right? Right? Then, sorry. Right, we were talking about time management. Now we are talking about the managing the domestic life. Right. Love your family, number one. Always love your family. If you cannot keep that feeling, you have to think about your parents, how much they have sacrificed for us, and how much your kids need your help, how much your partner helped you. Therefore, love your family, right? Let them to love you as well. Allocate time for the family. Encourage your partner, kids. Always encourage them to go do some examinations, be happy, and always to do their work properly. Listen to them. Have some time to listen to them. So you must listen and advise them. Understand each other, your partner and yourself. Always you should understand each other. You should know who is he, right? Please do not have competition with your partner. So I have seen this in the university as well. Some students, they are highly concerned with the GPA of his girlfriend and him. Okay. So whatever there is a competition. What they want is always they have a competition. So they compete at the examination even. But as partners, you should be complementary to each other. You should not have competition. Always encourage your partner. Help your partner to go up in the ladder. And you have to have child adoption and fostering leave if you cannot manage your work. You can apply for that and get leave. Okay. Then still we are talking about this managing the domestic life, food habits. Always try to avoid junk foods. If you are going to take a cheat meal, it's 1 day per week. That's all. 1 meal per week. All the other food habits, you have to concern about your food habits. And if you can have a keto meal, that would be better. Good meal, balanced diet, right? So as the female in the home, you have to be concerned about this. Then take care of children with assistance of spouse, partners. If you have more workload, let your spouse, parents to help you. You have to do it very strategically. Don't whatever demand your spouse to help you. You have to manage it tactfully and get the help of the members of the family. Have helpful and understanding partner. If you are already married, it's too late. But if you are a young person, if you're finding a partner, always see it, whether your partner is very helpful and understand you properly. Shopping, again a problem for females. So when I take myself, I have a shopping list. Each month I go to whatever I do shopping with the use of that list. List is divided into parts. These things should be bought from Kiehl's. These things should be bought from the market. This is from this place. Likewise, it is categorized. Then weekly list, there is a weekly list as well. That is for fish, vegetables, fruits. Again, it is divided according to the place which you are going to buy. So you, at the end of each month, take the list and see what is remaining at home, what should be bought, whether the quantity which you put in the list is too much or is it insufficient. Likewise, shopping should be also managed properly. Don't try to go shopping every day. You have to have a proper plan. Then always be happily involved in multitasking. At one time, you have to do so many tasks. Concentrate on multitasks. Then we have to move to other, we are moving to other two headings. First one is use 5S concept. Very important thing. Arrange your home, office room at home properly. So your room should not be a mess. Your office room should be very well arranged. You have to have books in proper place, your certificates in one place. Okay. So you have to have those things in a proper place. Your office cabin, you have to have a good filing cabinet. Okay. You have to have drawers. You have to keep drawings in one place. You have, when I take my office room at university, I have my first year lecture notes in one cupboard, second year, third year, fourth year, right? Institute documents one place, exam papers in one place. Likewise, there should be properly arranged office cabin, right? When it comes to your wardrobe, accessories, jewelries, as a female, those things are also important. When I take my wardrobe, so I have separate place for saris, which I wear for weddings, separate place for saris, which I wear for functions. Then other day-to-day normal office wear, blue color saris, one place, red color, likewise grouped. Jackets are also grouped like that. When I want to find a sari for a wedding, I open one part of my wardrobe only. When it comes to accessories and jewelries, so I have a cupboard and I arrange it according to color, and pendant, 2 earrings together, matching chain, or likewise it's arranged properly. When I wear saris, I use different colored safety pins. There are small boxes to have blue color ones, black color ones, white color ones. Likewise, you have to arrange your wardrobe, accessories, jewelries properly. Then you can manage your work easily. When it comes to your CV, it's not coming under 5S, but I thought to add that also. So I have a master CV. It's 40 pages long, which includes everything. All my publications, CPDs attended, CPDs conducted. When I publish a paper and it gets published, as soon as possible, I put it in my CV. So when I need to have last year summary of my progress, so I can extract it from my CV. So you better keep a master CV. So it may be a very long one. Whenever you need, you can take extracts from that CV. Keeping a master CV is very important. Then managing your salary. Next point, very important, right? Okay. So you are supposed to manage your salary very well. So you have to have some savings. You have to allocate or whatever, have some portion for your expenses. Then you should think about donations and religious activities, etc. So don't overspend your salary. If you earn 1 million per month even, you can spend it, but you have to save. So we all understand that during the pandemic period, right? So you have understood about the savings, importance of savings, right? So managing your salary is also very important. Savings, expenses, donations, or religious activities. You have to divide your salary to 3 parts. Then reflection of your life. So you have to self-evaluate your job responsibilities and your satisfaction. Am I satisfied with job? Can I go up in the ladder? Am I doing a good job? Avoid comparison with others. Be happy with what you have. You are a unique person. You cannot compare yourself with anybody else. Prepare a program in the morning, in the afternoon, check it. When I go to university, I prepare a list of things in the morning and check whether I was able to do all these things, or whether some activities should be removed from the list or whether those activities should be taken to the tomorrow's list. Identify and limit your priorities. You should identify your priorities, limit your priorities, most prioritized work, then least prioritized work. Maintain a daily diary. Plan your weekly review. Yes, you review. So you prepare your weekly work, to-do list, knockout items, not in the priority list. Clean up last week list and some items carried forward to the next week list. Then be supportive, friendly, and kind-hearted person to everybody, right? Be a pleasant character. Always smile and help people. When you see a nice dress of a person, always be kind enough to say, you are very beautiful today, very nice sari. Always say good morning, smile with each other. So be a very pleasant character. Help everybody. Try to help as much as possible everybody. Your juniors, colleagues, sometimes your seniors. Do not expect anything by helping people. Love society. Okay? You have to love society. Don't hate people. Don't hate society. Always love society. Follow your religion. All religions say the same thing in different whatever perspectives. So follow your religion. Always be pleasant. It's very important. Always be pleasant to everybody in your office, at your home, everywhere. Right? Manage your job properly. Last category of strategies, manage your job properly. Learn art of delegation. You have to delegate power. You cannot keep all with you. Delegate work to the appropriate person. Supervise them. Work as a team. Always be a team member. Don't complain. Blames and praises both should be taken as a team. Don't try to take the good name and put the bad name to your subordinates in the team. Select suitable subordinates. Be committed and positive. Always think that we can do. Be positive. Develop competencies through lifelong learning. Try to attend CPDs as much as possible. Arrange to work from home, e-working if possible. Decide your location of stay according to the convenience. Refuse to accept unrealistic deadlines. Select your job carefully. Be flexible. When you see a mistake of yours, be flexible. Practice whatever Pareto principle, which states 20% of your input creates 80% of your results. So identify that 20% and give more, whatever attention to that 20%. Involved in multitasking. Do not be too ambitious or be low, very unambitious person. Balance your life. Love your job, love your profession and workplace. Be a passionate engineer. Love your workplace as well. So with this, I'm moving to the concluding remarks. 1 or 2 slides. Right? There are 5 integral domains of life: work, family, social, health, and spiritual. If we manage all these things properly, you can have a well-balanced life management with you. So those domains are work, family, social, health, and spiritual lives. So balance is not something you find, it's something you create. Thank you for listening. Now you can ask questions. It's the time for questions.
Yeah, we have a few questions, madam.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is difficult to concentrate on what we are doing when we are at home. So take more time. Expect the opinion from the speaker.
Yeah. So why when you are at home, so you cannot concentrate on your work. That may be the reason. And the other thing is when you are looking at a computer screen for a long time, you feel bad and you feel isolated. Normally, what my advice is to my students and colleagues is, so you better keep your computer close to a window and try to look at through the window. Say every 10 minutes or 20 minutes, try to have a whatever relaxation activity by looking through the window far away, detailed, or say a tree or something like that. As well as if you are sitting so in front of the computer, don't go beyond 2 hours. Have a break and go and have a cup of tea and come. As well as when you are looking at the computer and listening to something, try to take notes of it. Then you will be able to concentrate on that. As well as try to get a whatever soft copy or a recording of it and try to listen to it when you are free and when you are in a relaxed mood. Those are the solutions, I believe.
Okay, thank you, madam. Then what are the regulations in Sri Lanka when employing a woman in a shift job, which includes night shifts?
Sorry?
What are the regulations in Sri Lanka when employing a woman in a shift job, which includes night shifts?
To tell you the honest truth, actually, I'm not that much aware about that. There are regulations regarding the night shifts, as well as when you are keeping a female after 10 and all, there are regulations. You have to find those regulations and see. But sometimes when it comes to private sector organizations, at the moment, I cannot remember actually, there are regulations. So when it comes to private sector organization, when you sign some agreements and all, there are tricky clauses which try to whatever cover up those things and take the service of females for longer hours. So you have to be careful about that. And I am not whatever at the moment, I cannot remember all those things, but you have to see a document and find. Sorry about that.
Okay, madam, thank you. Then we have few more questions. There are more than 100,000 women headed household in North and East who were desperate due to war and COVID situation. And how do we support to them according to your opinion?
People who are afflicted by COVID.
No, actually, due to the war situation, which was previously in North and East.
Yeah. So actually speaking, number one is, so war, you mean this LTT and terrorist war?
Terrorist, yeah.
Yeah. So during that time, there were students in our university also when war was there, right? So number one, what you can do is, please don't discriminate people by considering their religion, race, or hometown or anything. Number one. Number two is, when you are working in as a group, always try to understand their problems, but please don't let them to whatever feel that you are going to sympathize them. So respect them, and in a whatever strategic way you have to help them. As well as females, so we have to educate them and try to let them to go up in the ladder of education. There will be short courses and other things for them to get a professional training. When it comes to our institute also, we go to different places in the country and do some CPDs, workshops, and conduct some short courses, short courses online as well, to encourage those people in different parts of the country. What I believe is, nowadays, those people who were affected by the whatever voice up to some extent recovered, still we have the responsibility of helping them. So if you see somebody, don't let him or her to feel that you are sympathizing him or her. That is number one, but help them. So share your whatever resources, let them to study, and if they are at the office, understand their context, understand their culture. Those things would be the solutions.
Okay, thank you, madam. And we have another question: how to reduce aggressive behavior in stress conditions?
Sorry?
How to reduce aggressive behavior in stress conditions?
Yeah. Number one, so if somebody is getting stress or depressed, what you can do is you can look at his or her face and understand there are symptoms of being stressed. Number one is you have black patches under your eye. All the people who are having black patches are not stressed. Huh? There are stress marks. When you look at the forehead of those people also, you can see. So you cannot sleep in the night, improper sleep, and you cannot concentrate. Sometimes people get angry. Then you decide, yes, this person is under stress. Then number one is you as a colleague can help him or her in different ways. Since you know those people properly, help them. Sometimes in the morning also, I was talking to a very senior architect, and he was saying there are people who are undergoing treatments for mental conditions. He used to send good morning to everybody in the morning, good night. Why? So you indicate that you are caring them. There are other ways of showing that you care them. So likewise, you help them. You try to be with them, and you whatever indicate that you like their company and all. But if the stress level is going beyond that, a normal person cannot control it. Then you should direct those people to a counselor, professional counselor. So if the professional counselor is also cannot handle that person, then that person should be directed to a psychologist or psychiatrist. So that is how we manage. First, we as whatever people, without having the professional counseling or psychiatric knowledge, we try our best to handle them with general principles. If it is not workable or if it is not successful, then we move to a professional counselor. If not, psychiatrist or psychologist. I hope I have answered your question.
Yes, ma'am. And we have another question. What is your opinion of selecting a partner in the same profession?
Right. That's a good question. My husband is also one of my batchmates, right? So there are advantages as well as disadvantages both. But what I believe is good, when I put it into a scale, I feel it's better. Why? Number one, your partner is going to understand your profession, will understand your job, right? So when both of you are together, both of you can do the charter together or other masters together, or one can wait and let one to finish and then the other one to do. So if you try to tell a businessman that you need to do charter, you need to do your masters, sometimes that person may not understand. So I would like to take an example from my life. I was the chief student counselor at University of Moratuwa. I get calls in the night around 11 p.m. in the night, even I get calls. But being a person from the same university in the same profession, my husband understands it very well. He knows these are University of Moratuwa students, counseling students who call in the night. So what I believe is having a person from the same profession is fine, but not only the profession, but you have to think about whether both of you are matching each other. Expectations, ambitions, the way you look at the life, the way you enjoy, the way you understand each other, you have to think about those things as well. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you very much. I think we have, that's all up to now.
Yeah.
And we would like to
Right. One person says if they ask him for my contact numbers and all, I think engineer Miss Kanti is having my contact numbers. If somebody is interested in talking to me, you can provide my number to them. I don't have any issue of giving my handphone number.
Okay, Professor Kanchana, sure, I'll do.
Thank you very much, madam. And we would like to present a virtual memento to our professor for enlightening today's event. And this is presented to Professor Mrs. B.A. Kanchana Pereira by the Women Engineers Forum of the Institution of Engineers Sri Lanka as an expression of appreciation for tremendous contribution as the resource person for the webinar on life management of professionals, women engineers, on 31st of August, 2021. Thank you very much, madam.
Okay, thank you very much.
So,
I would like to thank engineer Ms. Kanti Jayavira and the Women Engineers Forum for inviting me and giving me this opportunity to talk to women engineers as a female professional. So I'm very happy to talk to females as well as a counselor. I enjoy by doing these lectures. So as I mentioned earlier, if somebody needs my number, I'm okay to give my number to anybody in the forum. Okay. Thank you very much for listening and your cooperation and for your questions. Hope all of you will manage your life and reach to the very high levels in your life by balancing all aspects, not only the work life, family life, spiritual life, whatever other parts of the whatever life, having a whatever balance life and enjoy your life. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, madam. Now it's time for the vote of thanks. A very good evening to all the professionals gathered here today. So it gives me an immense pleasure to deliver a vote of thanks on this session. On behalf of Women Engineers Forum, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to our resource person today, Professor B.A. Kanchana Pereira, for sharing views and your experience with us on this timely suited and very important topic, especially during this pandemic situation, life management of professionals. So thank you very much, madam, for being an inspiration for us today. Then thank you very much, Engineer Kanti Jayavira, Committee Member of Women Engineers Forum, for coordinating this webinar. And respected members of the Advisory Committee, we are blessed to have your presence here today in online platform and your blessings in all events of Women Engineers Forum. And also a big thank you to all the female and male professionals gathered here today for making this webinar a successful and interactive session. Finally, I would like to take this opportunity to place an record of gratitude to ISL and the staff, especially Mr. Chamila, the publicity manager, and also Ms. Ramani, the assistant manager, for continuous support extended to all of us at this session and also during all the sessions conducted by Women Engineers Forum. Last but not least, members of Executive Committee of Women Engineers Forum, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, we thank you for being with us this evening. It has been great pleasure. And also, we would like to wind up this session with the quote from today's webinar. Balance is not something you find, it's something you create. So have a successful, balanced life. Thank you very much. Good night.
Okay, good night. Thank you. See you all.